She betrayed you, not with silence, not with distance, but with the one thing you never thought you would give away, your trust. You see, betrayal is different from heartbreak. Heartbreak is when someone leaves. Betrayal is when they stay just long enough to feed on your loyalty while giving their body or their heart to someone else. And the worst part? It's not just the act. It's the humiliation. The gnawing voice that says, "You weren't enough. He was better. She chose him over you." That's the moment where most men shatter. Some beg, some rage, some spiral into darkness and never return. But an ancient Stoic, he would do something terrifyingly different, because the Stoic does not collapse in betrayal. He does not scream. He does not beg. He does the one thing that frightens both his enemies and his betrayers. He remains unmoved. This isn't weakness. This isn't oppression. This is the highest form of power, the art of enduring the knife in the heart without showing the world you're bleeding. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment about it. The betrayal itself is nothing. It is your mind that gives it the power to destroy you. But here's the forbidden truth. If you can control your mind in betrayal, you don't just survive. You ascend. Picture this. It's late at night. Her phone lights up. You don't mean to look, but something in your gut tells you to. You see the name. You see the message. And your stomach turns cold. The lies unravel fast. The sudden busy days. The cold replies. The shift in tone. And then the confirmation. Another man. Another bed. Another life she was living while kissing you goodbye. You sit there, staring at the walls. Your mind spirals. Why him? What does he have that I don't? Was everything fake? The shame floods in. You imagine your friends laughing. You imagine the world pointing at you, the fool who got cheated on. This is a place where weak men die. Not physically, but inside. Some throw their rage onto her, screaming, smashing, posting online in desperate attempts to hurt back. Some beg her to stay, offer more love, more devotion, as if betrayal is cured by submission. Some collapse inward, drinking, isolating, sinking into the abyss. But an ancient Stoic, he would sit in that same room, feel the same stab of betrayal. But then he would draw a line. He would remind himself, this is not new. It is the nature of mankind to deceive, to betray, to follow desire. I cannot govern her choices. I can only govern my mind. The weak man says, she destroyed me. The Stoic says, she revealed herself. Do you feel the difference? One gives her the power. The other takes it back instantly. And in that quiet, something shifts. The shame begins to fade. The anger dissolves. And in its place, a darker strength is born. The ability to face the knife without flinching. Because betrayal is not just about her. It's a test. A test of whether your emotions own you or whether you own them. The blood of betrayal. Marcus Aurelius and Faustina. They whisper a story about Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, the philosopher king. A story so dark, most men refuse to believe it, that his wife, Faustina, fell in lust with Gladiator. Marcus discovered her desire, and that, on the advice of soothsayers, he forced her to bathe in the man's blood before taking her himself. Truth or rumor, it doesn't matter, because what it reveals is the abyss every man faces when betrayed. Imagine it, the emperor of Rome, master of armies, ruler of the world, yet powerless in his own bed. The woman who vowed loyalty to him, craving another man, and Marcus, torn between philosophy and fury, between stoic reason and the primal rage of betrayal. The story says he chose blood, a ritual of revenge, a spectacle of humiliation. But whether it happened or not, this tale forces you to confront the same question. When you are betrayed, do you turn to philosophy, or do you turn to vengeance? Dark lesson, rumor versus reality. Here lies the paradox. If true, Marcus Aurelius himself was not immune to weakness. He let betrayal drag him into ritual, into blood, into madness. Even the philosopher king may have been broken by desire and pride. If false, the story itself is still a weapon, Because Roman society wanted to believe it. Why? Because the idea that even a Stoic emperor could collapse under betrayal made every man feel justified in his own rage. This is a lesson. The world wants you weak. It wants you consumed by anger, enslaved to your wounds, dragged into darkness. Because if even Marcus could fall, then what hope is there for you? But here's the Stoic secret. Weakness may tempt you, but mastery is always a choice. Consequence if ignored. If you live like Marcus in this rumor, you will become a slave to your pain. You will stage spectacles. You will prove to the world you are strong. Yet inside, you will rot with insecurity. And like Commodus, the son born of Marcus and Faustina, your legacy will be corruption and chaos. The sins of betrayal repeated through generations. Secret advantage if applied. But if you live like the real Marcus Aurelius, the one who wrote in his meditations, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Then betrayal becomes your initiation into power. You will not stage blood rituals. You will not chase revenge. You will not collapse into madness. Instead, you will walk in silence. You will let philosophy guide you, not rage. You will become untouchable, because the only thing that belongs to you is your own mind. That is the true Stoic path, not bathing in the blood of your enemy, but bathing in the fire of your own discipline. Whether Marcus Aurelius did this or not, the story survives because it exposes you. Would you be any different? If betrayal struck you at your core, would you demand blood or would you demand mastery? Remember this. Betrayal is not about her. It is about you. And in that moment, you must decide, will you descend into spectacle or rise into Stoicism? Dark lesson 1. The pain you hide. Every man who has been betrayed carries a wound that no one else can see. He may laugh. He may post pictures online. He may tell his friends, I'm fine, I've moved on. But deep down, when the lights go out, when he's alone, he feels the knife twisting. The worst part of betrayal isn't the act itself. It's the echo it leaves behind. The questions that never stop whispering. Was I not enough? Did she ever love me? Am I just a fool? This hidden pain is what makes men weak, because while you're busy hiding it from the world, it eats you alive from within. And here's where dark psychology cuts deep. The moment she knows you're wounded, she knows she still controls you. Your silence, if it comes from weakness, betrays you. Your anger, if it bursts out, betrays you. Your begging, if it slips through, betrays you. That hidden pain becomes visible through your every move, and she feeds on it. Imagine this. A man is cheated on. He doesn't rage. He doesn't beg. Instead, he swallows it. He hides it from everyone. But inside, he's burning. He checks her social media. He stalks the new man. He rewinds every memory in his head. Outwardly, he's calm. Inwardly, he's bleeding. And slowly, the pain consumes him, making him bitter, paranoid, empty. This is not Stoicism. This is quiet self-destruction. Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength. The Stoic does not hide pain. He confronts it, dissects it, and transforms it. He does not say, I'm fine. He says, this is pain. This is betrayal. But it cannot touch my reason, my virtue, my destiny. He reclaims a narrative. He stops asking, why did she do this to me? And instead asks, what can I forge from this fire? Because here is the forbidden truth. The pain you hide owns you. The pain you face becomes your weapon. Consequence if ignored. If you ignore this truth, the wound festers. It poisons every relationship that follows. You begin to see every woman through the lens of betrayal. You lose trust, not in her, but in yourself. And worst of all, you let the one who betrayed you keep winning. Because she doesn't just walk away with your trust. She walks away with your strength. Secret advantage, if applied. But when you face the pain, when you look betrayal in the eye and strip it of its power, you unlock something rare. A calmness so deep it unnerves others. A strength so solid no betrayal can shake it again. The Stoic does not deny the pain. He absorbs it. And in doing so, he makes himself untouchable. This is the first weapon of dark Stoicism, not to hide the pain, but to master it so completely that the world believes you were never wounded at all. Dark Lesson 2. Control versus chaos. The moment betrayal strikes, chaos enters. Your mind spins. Your heart races. Your soul feels ripped open. You want answers. You want justice. You want control. But here's the cruel paradox. The more you try to control her, the more control you lose over yourself. You check her phone. You stalk her social media. You rehearse arguments in your head, trying to twist reality back into order. But the more you chase control, the more powerless you feel. Because you cannot control desire. You cannot control betrayal. You cannot control her. And every second you try, you become her slave. Story, the spiral of chaos. A man discovers his woman is unfaithful. He confronts her, demanding answers, demanding loyalty. She lies. He presses harder. She resists. He explodes. Now she points the finger back at him. You're paranoid. You're crazy. You're the problem. And suddenly he doubts himself. He feels insane. The betrayal remains, but now he looks like the villain. This is how chaos devours the weak man. Not only does he lose her, he loses himself. Epictetus taught, some things are in our control and others not. Within our power are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion. Not in our power are the body, property, reputation, command. The Stoic understands. Her betrayal is chaos, but the chaos is hers, not his. He does not drown trying to order the storm. He stands still while the storm rages. That stillness is not weakness. It is dominance, because in that moment, he proves he is ruled by reason, not by impulse. And here's where dark psychology sharpens the blade. The less you react, the more she feels the weight of her own chaos. The storm turns inward. The guilt, the doubt, the regret, all begins to consume her. Consequence if ignored. Ignore this truth, and you'll live your life chained to what you cannot control. Every betrayal will destroy you. Every rejection will unravel you. Every loss will strip you of dignity, because you'll always be chasing storms that were never yours to command. Secret advantage if applied. But when you master this, when you learn to separate what is yours to govern from what is not, you become untouchable. She can betray you. She can mock you. She can walk away. But she cannot move you. And that stillness, that composure, it terrifies the betrayer, because suddenly she realizes she can wound you, but she cannot control you. This is the second weapon of dark Stoicism, the power to stand calm in chaos, to let her storm destroy itself, while you remain the immovable mountain. Dark Lesson 3. The prison of ego. Betrayal cuts sharper than any blade. But here's the hidden truth. It's not the act itself that destroys you. It's the voice inside whispering, you weren't enough. That voice is not hers. That voice is your ego, your fragile sense of worth, screaming as it collapses. When she cheats, the first thought isn't, she is weak. It's, am I weak? Am I not man enough? Did he have something I don't? And suddenly, the other man lives rent-free in your head. You imagine them together. You compare yourself. You question every inch of yourself. This is the ego's prison, a cage built not by her betrayal, but by your obsession with how the world perceives you. Story, the man who became his wound. History whispers of emperors, generals, kings, powerful men who ruled nations but fell to ashes when a lover betrayed them. Why? Because the wound to their pride outweighed the wound to their heart. One Roman senator discovered his wife's affair with a soldier. Did he divorce her quietly, as Stoics advised? No, he made a public spectacle, executing the soldier and humiliating his wife before the people. The result? He appeared powerful for a moment, but in truth, he revealed weakness. Because he showed the world her actions could move him, her betrayal dictated his rage. And the people whispered not of his strength, but of his humiliation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength. The ego demands a world bow to its image, but the Stoic sees through the illusion. Betrayal cannot diminish you. unless you let your worth depend on the actions of another. Here's where dark psychology adds venom. The less you defend your ego, the more her betrayal loses power. She expects rage. She expects accusations. She expects breakdowns. But when you remain composed, something sinister happens in her mind. She begins to wonder why you aren't broken. She questions her own value. The guilt, and sometimes even jealousy, turns inward. By mastering ego, you turn betrayal into a prison, not yours. Consequence if ignored. If you live as a prisoner of ego, betrayal will own you for life. Every time you are rejected, cheated, or abandoned, you will collapse into insecurity. You will chase validation, revenge, and recognition, but never find peace. Your ego will whisper, control her, win her back, prove you're enough, and in obeying, you become her servant. Secret advantage, if applied. But when you kill ego, when you no longer need her loyalty to feel whole, you walk free. Her betrayal does not define you. Her choices cannot stain your worth. This is why dark Stoicism feels terrifying to the uninitiated. It requires you to let the ego die. And when the ego dies, the man is reborn, untouchable, invincible, silent in his power. Because what can she take from you if she never owned you? Dark Lesson 4. The illusion of revenge. The moment you discover betrayal, rage erupts. Your hands shake. Your thoughts spiral. The mind whispers, make her pay, destroy him. Show them both you are not weak. This is the primal urge, the desire for revenge. And if you give in to it, you lose everything. Picture this. You grab your phone, typing venom, planning to expose her. You imagine fighting the man, breaking him, humiliating her. For a split second, the fantasy feels intoxicating, like justice, like power. But here is the sinister truth. Revenge is not power. It is dependence. Because in chasing revenge, you remain bound to her. Every move you make is still chained to her betrayal. And thus, you prove she still controls you. Story, the emperor who wanted blood. History remembers Commodus, son of Marcus Aurelius. Where Marcus sought wisdom, Commodus sought vengeance. When he suspected betrayal, whether political or personal, he turned Rome into a stage for his fury. He executed senators, humiliated rivals, and filled arenas with blood. For a time, he looked unstoppable. But history shows the truth. He was not feared, only despised. His reign collapsed into chaos, and his own mistress plotted his assassination. What does this teach us? That revenge is a trap. It consumes the man who wields it. Seneca warned, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. A woman cheats because she is weak. If you answer with weakness, anger, chaos, obsession, you become her mirror. You both fall into ruin. But here's the twist. In dark psychology, the absence of revenge is more terrifying than revenge itself. Why? Because rage is predictable. She expects it. She can prepare for it. She can twist it. But silence, detachment, cold indifference, that haunts her. It forces her to face herself. She cannot rewrite the story because you gave her nothing to fight against. Consequence if ignored. If you chase revenge, you are enslaved twice. First by her betrayal, then by your obsession to answer it. You waste your strength proving a point to someone who already devalued you. And in doing so, you prove she still matters more than your own mastery. You think you're striking back, but you're really kneeling at her altar. Secret advantage, if applied. The Stoic knows the darkest revenge is not action, but absence. No words, no fury, no spectacle. You walk away, not because you're weak, but because you refuse to feed the fire. Your silence becomes her punishment. Your detachment becomes her ghost. And when you rise in strength, discipline, and presence, the world sees your transformation. She, meanwhile, is left to rot in her own chaos. That is the only revenge worth having, one where you never even raise a finger. Dark Lesson 5. Turning betrayal into power. Betrayal can break you, or it can remake you. The truth is brutal. When someone cheats on you, they hand you one of two choices. Either you collapse into weakness, or you ascend into a version of yourself they can never touch. This is a paradox. The very dagger she stabbed into your chest can be reforged into a sword you carry for life. Think of the man who is cheated on. Most collapse into self-destruction. They drink, they beg, they stalk her social media. They let her betrayal define their worth. Every action screams weakness. Every thought whispers, I was not enough. But the Stoic flips the script. He sees betrayal as a teacher, not a curse, an initiation. Story, the slave who became untouchable. Epictetus was born a slave. He was beaten, humiliated, treated as nothing. His master even shattered his leg, leaving him crippled forever. That should have broken him. But instead, Epictetus turned his pain into philosophy. He became untouchable, not because the world stopped hurting him, but because he mastered his response to it. Betrayal works the same way. Her treachery can cripple you, or it can awaken you. The choice is yours. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you'll find strength. Cheating is the perfect test of this principle. You cannot control her body, her choices, her loyalty, but you control what it creates inside you. Dark psychology reveals a brutal secret. Pain is one of the fastest ways to rewire identity. Think of it like fire. Most men let the fire consume them. The Stoic uses the fire to forge steel. Instead of asking, why did she do this to me? You ask, what has this forced me to become? Consequence if ignored. If you fail this test, you will repeat the cycle forever. Every betrayal will cut deeper. Every heartbreak will strip more of your strength. And eventually you will stop trusting, stop growing, stop living. You will walk as a shadow, defined by what you did, not who you are. That is the fate of the untrained man. A ghost haunting his own life. Secret advantage, if applied. But if you use betrayal as fuel, you transform. You train your body with new discipline. You sharpen your mind with philosophy. You fortify your emotions through silence. Her betrayal becomes a spark for your ascension. The wound becomes the proof of your resilience. And here's the dark twist. One day, she will see you again. Not the broken man she left, but the silent, unshakable force she never imagined. That moment is not about her. It is about you, because you no longer seek her return. You embody the strength that makes her irrelevant. That is the power of the Stoic, turning betrayal into the very reason he became unstoppable. Remember this. Every betrayal is secretly a gift. It reveals the illusion of control, it destroys your ego, and it dares you to rise stronger than ever before. Most men collapse under this weight. The Stoic carries it like armor. But there is one darker truth, one forbidden secret Marcus Aurelius himself hinted at, not about betrayal, but about love itself. Because the real danger is not what happens when she cheats. The real danger is what happens when you love without discipline. And that is what we will uncover in the next video.